Clyde Winters and on their name, put some respect. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, the heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
Oh, damn.
The woo.
Yes, sir. It's wolves. It's wolves and then it's wolves and them there hills. Wolves and them there hills. Yes, sir.
What up?
Whenever I get around Eve, I think what happens to me is that all them brothers who live around her, when they see her go to work or they see her at the store, they become like wolves, and I think they somehow take me over. Yes, sir. And so then there it is. Hey, there it is. But how you guys doing tonight?
Dr. Clyde, what's up? Eve, what's up? Hey.
Everything.
Great. That's like how it sounds in the morning when I get to school. And I love that sound. The little mini midgets yells minis like woo! and then my class just never kind of gets back on subject because they're just so happy. No, I'm excited to see you guys. Happy Black History Month, even though I know we celebrate being Black every day, not just in February. But Dr. Winters, before the month closed out, before we closed out this Black History Month, I needed to give you a reality check.
Whoa, baby. Go ahead, give me this reality check. I need it.
Look, reality is that we were taught that we are supposed to be poor righteous teachers, that we are supposed to not get any recognition, not take any credit, not really care about the things that we've done. And that's stupid. It's not only stupid, but nobody else does that. And what's happened is that we've found this delineation about us. And inside of the delineation, voices like yours got amplified in like the biggest way. And I need people to know that the reality of all of this is that we're past the poor righteous teacher phase. You're not going to know about this person until after they're dead and gone, and 50 years later when them people can mess up the story. They're not going to be able to whitewash the Winters, even though, it's snow time. They do a lot. They do the most. They've changed words. They've changed definitions, and then still we rise.
But this brother, he wrote a thing. Mamiya, he wrote an email talking about they was going to make sure that nobody ever heard about me, because see, what happened is that I made a lot of enemies when I was younger, and the reason I made a lot of enemies is I didn't know how to stay in my place. You see, no, I didn't. I was young. Like when I really believed in being a researcher. I really believed in the sense that researchers should do research. So as a result, when I was in my 20s, I'm in my 20s, I ain't graduated from university. And whereas most Black people go somewhere and sit their ass down, I decided I was going to be publishing research articles. And so I published a lot of research articles back in the day, which in a way I enjoyed, but it was bad, because the fact is that the other people, like the Kemetic Institute used to be established at Northeastern University in Chicago. And so then the Kemetic Institute, they had Ira Carruthers and a lot of Black people that became, very influential. you know, because they were hooked up with people down in Washington D.C. and Temple. But see, because the fact, in a sense, I used to be with these brothers, but because I, you know, and Ivan Van Sertima, but I was the youngest of the bunch, you know, and I'm the one writing articles and all that type of mess. And I didn't understand that I didn't understand back then that black people didn't really black men didn't really support each other. You know, I didn't understand that. I thought that I really believe that black people should support each other, and that's one of the reasons why I try to, you know, play up you guys. You know, because I feel that that white people can do it. We should be able to do it too. But
You saying you didn't come across any brother fuckers.
There's a whole lot of brother fuckers, man.
At that time, you didn't come across them yet.
I came across
them. He just hadn't really understood the gravity of the environment that he was in. And I get that. It's insane that you can be so green, wanting to do so much, help, you know, want to fix and change things, and then you get inside the system and find out that no, the system's working exactly the way that it's supposed to. And whenever we come into that realization, sometimes for a lot of Black Americans, especially the foundation, we've kind of checked out of this reality. You know, we're kind of above it or below it, but we're not really in it the way that everybody else is playing the game. And since there is a game being played, you can choose to participate or not. But if you don't, then
and not only that, but I was very naive. You know, I was very naive. You know, I used to really believe. I really believed in people. I believed in reality. I believed in the sense that you went to university, you learned how to do research, and you wrote research papers. And so then what happened is, so I was publishing research papers after I got out of college because, you know, I would look at how professors wrote research papers, then I would write the research paper, and so automatically these people was calling me Dr. Winters, and I never put on any of my papers I was Dr. Winters back then, but they thought I was a doctor, so they would publish my shit because they said, damn, he got to be only doctors do this shit. But see that, I had to give due to my baby doll. My baby doll, I said, damn, these people saying this and they saying that. She said, well, you can say it too.
Hey.
I said, what? She said, you can say it too. You can go ahead and just say it. And so then I started publishing articles, and a lot of my stuff was on Chinese studies back in the day, you know. So when I would go to conferences, they'd be saying, what part of Africa are you from? I said, I'm from 47th Street. They said, I don't think you heard me.
Outside of Chicago.
I don't think you heard me.
We're from the hood.
They said, I don't think I know. They said, I know you're African. Your complexion is too clear. That's because I don't smoke or drink. Wait a minute. You Afro-Americans do not do any research. You Afro-Americans, y'all lazy and just sit on your ass. And so then these people, they just couldn't understand it. So then by the 80s, I was publishing stuff. Then in the 90s, people like Ira Carruthers and some of the other brothers, Ivan Van Sertima, he was publishing earlier than me, but he was already at Rutgers, and I wasn't at a university then, but they just assumed I was at a university. So I named my house the Ousmane Danfodio Institute. So
really,
yeah,
I mean, that's an excellent model. You know, when we do things, name them, claim them, and then use them. You know, people start to get jealous. They start to, you know, want to gatekeep things. They want to keep you out of the circle. And it's crazy that you said what you said, because you brought up my first little snippet that we're gonna have to bring it on out tonight. It's gonna have to, this is a reality.
I was very naive. I remember my wife used to always say, you know, y'all the craziest people I ever seen. Y'all gonna run the white man. Y'all gonna do this. Y'all gonna take over. And she said, these people aren't gonna let you do that. And she said, why do you believe it? I said, but see, I believed in the American dream. If you work hard, you're gonna be successful. If you work hard, all it took is hard work. And then with the caveat that as a black man, you had to work a little harder. So then I really believed that shit. So when I got out of college, I started publishing articles, overseas. I could write in French and Swahili, so I was publishing articles in French and Swahili and stuff. And so automatically they, they didn't think I was FBA.
Yeah.
Because I'd go to conferences and they'd always question my they always thought I was like the tethers today, that I was out there just cosplaying FBA, because they said FBAs and do research, and they didn't. And even up to today, I'm sad to say, but even up to today, we're not doing research. Only people that do some research is sisters. I remember that even when I was teaching at Governor State University, people would always they were afraid of sisters. They would keep sisters at Governor State University for about 3 years. Then after 3 years, you had to give them tenure. Whoop! Somehow they get rid of them sisters and stuff. I was just a lecturer. Even though I had a PhD, I was just a lecturer, and I was mainly working in Chicago public schools, so I had a regular salary.
Not ready for you, because they can't let you go in the summertime and then decide maybe to bring you back in the fall because you already done things.
But see, it was different back then, because see, when I started teaching, we were very low paid. But then by the time I retired, I had worked 46 years, so you can imagine what my salary was.
And that's a beautiful thing. I always came across my peer educators, that whatever color, creed, or whatever. And because I have degrees, I'm getting paid the same thing that they're getting paid being there 25 years. And that was always insane to me. I'm like, how much were you getting paid when you first started? And then I'm trying to do the math. Like, how did you afford to live on that? That's crazy.
But see, that's why. But see, if you remember, is that a lot of the black teachers didn't really go and get remember to move up in education, you had to go get master's degrees and all that type of stuff. A lot of sisters, they just said, hey, I'm making this little money, so that's fine. And so they wouldn't go and do that. And because they didn't go and get higher degrees, a lot of times they were still, getting basic salaries and stuff like that, But the thing is this, is that I was so naive, I just really believed. I really believed what I read. I really believed that black researchers did what white researchers did, and so I was so naive. I was very naive. A lot of people. I never get this brother. I was the director of the Black Cultural Center, and so this brother, after he fucked me up, he said, Clyde, I like you, but you would always tell me, you would always be so honest with me. It let me know how to fuck you up. He told me years later. He told me this years later, and he said, but see, I didn't really know that they were going to fuck me up. I thought Black Power, baby, that black people was down and together. No, they weren't. And then you got these black people hiding shit, like Runoko Rashidi. I made his ass, and then this man, he was in California. I remember I went out to California to speak at Compton College and stuff. And I that's when he got all his pictures on ancient black people. I gave him that stuff, and he not once, he never would admit where he got his shit. That's why when he took the
thing
and got on that airplane, his ass died. He didn't understand. You couldn't take that and fly. See,
why?
And so he got on the plane, and that was his demise. But again, in the sense is that people love fakers. People love fakers. Mostly all of them were fakers, because see, they were at the moment, because they were in universities, because they were teaching at universities, and people assumed that they knew stuff. They didn't know ish, because they didn't do research, and even up to today, they still don't do research.
That's
They
true.
our scholars have said they don't do research. You know, that's one of the reasons why a lot of times these Africans they come over here and they get tenure by writing phony shit. But go ahead, what were you about to say, Yoshi?
Nah, I'm agreeing right there with you. But shout out to Dorville and shout out to Elevation Live, man. Shout out to Craig so far. Shout out to everybody up in the chat room, man. Tons five up in the building. Everybody, man. It's going live on this Black History here month
Yeah,
close out, you dig? You know what I'm
Ella,
saying? We going in. We the X's up in here. They called us Dr. Clyde Winters X
Winners
and
X.
yeah,
X,
just Eve X and
X.
Yoshi Mod X. God dang it, God.
oh, we
You know what I'm
X's, we
saying? Yeah,
X's,
we
right?
by the window with the gun, you know what I'm saying? We ready,
Boom,
man.
boom,
Yeah,
boom.
you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. God damn it.
my
Yeah,
my
Black history, Black power, y'all.
Dr.
you
Winter, you see the thing? You see the thing?
you making a joke, but my wife she used to always tell me, Clyde, please don't get me killed. I said, baby, I want you to live as long as you can. Because, you know, people, she would be out in the audience when I would be giving lectures.
Mhm.
And then these people would tell me about they wanted to kill me. And so then a lot of times she say, Clyde, please don't get me killed. She luckily she died. She died in the hospital. So I didn't kill her.
You didn't kill her. That's true. This is not going to kill you as much as it killed me. And I have to speed it up just so that we get to the points quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. Certain accents speed up, sped up. That doesn't do them much justice. Let me slow it back down. Okay.
Why you keep going at FBA with it? Why you don't
So
like that?
okay, let's do this.
He does,
Give me
he
two.
does.
No, I actually don't.
Yes, you do.
No. I would go at Friedman if I couldn't look it up and see the historical accuracy in it, and it makes sense. Now, why would I go at the FBA? They're actually going at us and our rightful ownership of those monies that they owe us. Because first of all, what is FBA? FBA is the ethnogenesis, right, of an indigenous Black tribe that was already here, pre-colonial, and African slaves. That's a bunch of googly gall pseudoscience. So when you go in the court of law, right, when you're dealing with this type of individual or this type of government, right, they're gonna be super sharp. Okay, they're gonna laugh you out the courtroom with that nonsense, man. I'm not sitting around and letting out people get laughed out the courtroom or laughed out the science room because you think evolution is like a crocodile and a duck coming together. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm saying
So that's my first. That's my first point. We're gonna have to chop it up about.
But see, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand scholarship. He doesn't understand intellectual battles. You see, because see, I used to go to conferences, and I would, sometimes in a sense, sometimes in a sense I would do them just like now. Remember the other day when I was with Yoshi, Yoshi, we were talking to the to Gemini, I think that was her name or something for the and the thing is that these people you cannot find one article where they dispute my research. Not one article where a professional at a university disputes my research. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have none, and we
y'all showed real good on Sunday. If y'all didn't check out their show then and now on Sunday, Black Men Spark a Conversation with AI, you really should. It was genius the way that you guys were able to not only teach AI different things, but show people that it is a tool that can learn in real time. And then in real time, there's so many different things you can do with it. And yes, just like the firework was this beautiful thing, this spectator type of involvement. And then people said, oh, I can shoot somebody with this.
I can make a cannon.
We have to take some of these things apart. At least I believe we have to take some of these things apart. And then on Wednesdays, Dr. Winters lets me, and then Yoshi gave me the okay to join us tonight as well, because I'm sorry, the way that we've been delineating recently, I believe, is the move to get us to the next spot. And if we are comfortable learning from each other, then that means that we'll all eat. And then if we can all eat, then maybe we're not like the, prison eating and, trying to make sure nobody gets our. I'm so tired of the jealousy and the pocket watching that comes from people. All of this in air quotes, because these got to be imaginary people outside of, I've seen them in real spaces. I know they're real, but these people are going out of their way, like specifically out of their way to throw monkey wrenches in the thing that they say that they're owed. And the only reason that I can think of is because they won't have any control over things. This buffer goes away when equity happens. And it's not equality that we need as much as, equal access to things. But then
we didn't delineate. You have to understand, Eve, we didn't delineate. And because we didn't delineate, anybody who was a pseudo black, if a pseudo FBA, as long as they were black, we assumed that they had the same ideas that we had. They had the same motivations, and they had the same intentions that we had. See, when you went to school, your mama told you, don't let them bullies push you around. Your mama told you, I know you be scared, but don't let those bullies push you around. Whereas in a sense, when an immigrant comes over here, he says, kiss that white ass and avoid those niggas because they fight, you see. And so because the fact, in a sense, that you come from a different culture, you have different ideations. In your mind, you're a queen, you see. And in my mind, I know I'm a king. But anyway, the kings and the queens, we feel in a sense that we run this mother, because see, we know deep down, intuitively, we understand in a sense that the reason that they keep playing us up as a minority is to make us think that we're a minority. The reason in a sense they try to tell us we can't accomplish anything is to make you feel you can't accomplish anything. But then look, what is it, about 50,000 inventions that foundational Black Americans have made?
Getting credit for, right? Like, I mean, can you imagine all the things that we're not getting credit for? Yeah. Because the way that I've talked to people in the country about like their family, and then, the things that their family was doing, and no, there was no internet or instant transmission of information for us to say, well, they got it from there and they got it from there, as much as we're all having that spark. And then depending on what lane.
What happened?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It said the host has muted your screen. I was like, what's going on? No,
that's just some ghosts in the system.
Yeah.
No, but look, it's probably a good point. Can you throw back up the video real quick? Because it's stuff like this. There's going to be some straightening happening. And Dorville, you're on to something with what you said in the chat. A lot of foolishness for sure.
Respect what Lord Abbott's saying. And I look up what he's saying, right? And I agree with that. I should never try to change what freedom is. I'm going to say this again. I should never try to change what freedom is. Now, FBA is coming from Clyde, right? Who's coming from, Doc? We've seen it.
I'm sorry, what? FBA is coming from what? It's coming. Hold up.
African American.
Subscribe
to. I'm naming all of them. I'm naming all the different ideas, the different labels out there. Okay. ADOS, Black American, African American, FBA. You can't say, well, just because I identify or I may describe myself as that I then or I identify as that I subscribe to everything that comes with that. Because you have people that would identify as FBA who would say, no, I don't believe that there was a big ethnogenesis and African people was in here before. You do, and I'm telling you.
Then that's not FBA, then, Doc?
No, it's not. No, yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If I define
it's pseudo. Hold on, let me. I'm letting my plane. It's pseudo ideas surrounding the term African American.
No, Doc. Listen.
I mean, I'm just saying, just because you may identify as this right? And you may say, well, yeah, I identify as this, but no, I don't subscribe to certain ideas surrounding that, like everything that comes with it. It's like when you and I, when we argue, I say, oh, it's like all or nothing with you. It's either black or it's white. No, it's a such thing as a gray area. And let me tell you how I can identify that characteristic in you, because I used to be a black and white person. I used to be, it got to be this or that. It's either this or that. And then I learned that, wait a minute, sometimes, no, it could be a little bit of both. I'm just saying that's where I am. And so
that, okay, my point is that ain't what I'm talking about. You have mischaracterized what I'm saying. I'm saying it has to be a point where I respect what Lord Abbott is saying. And I look up what he's saying, right? And I agree with that. I should never try to change what freedom is. I'm going to say this again. I should never try to change what freedom is. Now, FBA is coming from Clyde.
The only reason I'm pausing on this one part is because Elevation in the chat, you got pride. No, like when you, I'm going to show you real quick, just so you know that I'm not stepping in it right now. This is what the transcript says, coming from Clyde, right? Who's coming from, well, I'm going to let him finish what he was saying, but he said Clyde. Now, if you listen to the whole 2 hours of this, maybe he's mixed up Clyde and Claude Anderson. And both of these men are instrumental in our delineation, right? Because Dr. Anderson said that we were native blacks, and Dr. Winters is saying we are foundational blacks. And either way you want to make that cookie crumble, I like it. I like it a lot. But there are already people saying that they're native, fine. And then ain't nobody saying they're foundational because they can't. And people who don't like Tariq, they don't like him so much that they will tank our reparations. And I just really can't deal with these types of people in our midst, because they get on these panels, they get in these rooms that we're not in, because they've got little people on, they got their nigga in the closet letting them know, hey, did you know they're about to meet about this? And hey, did you know there was an open seat here? And hey, and the Hakeem Jeffries, and they turn into these people that are the face of the Democratic Party at this point. Like, hold up, wait a minute. How are you related to Leonard Jeffries, and then we're not getting anything that we're owed unless you're supposed to be Obama 3.0, because they tried it with Kamala and it didn't work with her because she's not us. And then, okay, well, now you weren't quite ready, you weren't seasoned enough. And then really, y'all know what seasoning was? Is buck breaking, but not buck breaking, but it was buck breaking because they was seasoning us, and they don't season shit. So I'm sorry.
Turkey, we like to season turkey meat,
but they don't season nothing. But they was seasoning our asses and doing all sorts of tenderizing, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
But you got to understand that is that I come from a different generation. I luckily I met a woman who could be my friend. See, we were teenagers, and somehow we never grew up. And see, because the fact, in a sense, that we had went to it was a place called the Topographical Institute, and the Topographical Institute, they used to teach about the man who cried I am, and they used to teach us, in a sense, that they were going to have an extermination of black people. So we grew up with that. We had that idea, and it came from a book called "The Man Who Cried I Am," and so then we were talking about stuff at the Topographical Institute. We was talking about blowing up police stations, all type of shit. Now I know that probably most of those people probably work for the FBI or Army Intelligence, or the FBI, Army Intelligence, and the CIA, because a whole lot of those people, like out to this day, Worrell, he used to be at Northeastern Institute. For some reason, up to this day, I still think Worrell was CIA, even though he's known as one of the blackest people, and they really respect him because he was part of John Anderson stuff from the from the Kemetic Institute at Northeastern Illinois. I always felt he was subversive, because when it was time for people to get arrested, somehow he wasn't there. Even I was arrested, and Even I was arrested a couple of times. They took me to the jail, and I'll never forget when I was in Urbana, and they arrested me and they took me to the jail. And so the cop said he had a telephone book, because that's what they used to beat your ass with back in the day. He said, "I'm going to bait your big black ass," you know. And I think they picked me up because, you know, I'm a football player. I'm 200 pounds solid muscle. I'm taller than everybody else. So they said, we got to get that. If we get the big nigga, we got them all. But the people came and rescued me. They surrounded the police station. They said, "Let Clyde out. Let Clyde out." Clyde was in there saying, "Damn, I'm about to get my ass whooped. I hope I don't die. My mom and them, they're going to be all upset." But hey, they didn't kill me that night. But you know, but then I used to be giving lectures on how to use African technology, how people in Africa should use that technology to make their country strong today, you know. And my wife would be in the audience, and she said, "Them Africans want to kill your ass." I said, "No." I said, "No, baby, you must have heard it wrong, because you know they really want to know how to make their life better." No, they don't. Now we know those tethers don't want to make Africa better. They want to come over here and take what the hell you got. They want to take what I got. You know, my wife said, "You know, Clyde, you always talking about that Pan-Africanism stuff. You know, that African lady over there, you know, she always trying to fuck with me and fuck us up. You know, because she's jealous of us. You know, because she jealous of us because they put all that shit in their hair, but they be jealous because we're pretty." I said, "Well, you can't help it that you're gorgeous, baby. That's just you. That's just because you FBA all the way." And so then, but I didn't really see it until now. And so a lot of the problem today is that, you know, ever since we saw that video about that immigrant sister, and she said, "I'm not here to give, I'm here to take." And so we finally saw what they was all about. I think Yoshi, you recognized that when you was in when you was in Houston, right?
What's that?
You know,
Talking about all that the tripping and shit.
yeah, that they really wasn't pro-black.
Yeah, that it's the Nigerians. So the population in Houston, they have the largest population of Nigerians, right? So when they came out here, they took over the first thing in the 70s. They took over the taxi cabs. They took over the convenience stores, gas stations, and things of that nature. Then they moved on from that to get their own grocery stores, and then they started selling hair and weave, and then they went from that to having their own blocks in Houston. So they got the whole food chain, the grocery store to the restaurants, to the whole 9 yards, but they don't never get back to FBA. All they do is take, and the population still increased. They move out there in the nice houses, man, real nice houses, man. Yeah, I'm from H-Town. They move in them nice houses far away from the communities. The kids, what the kids end up doing, the kids become, they like white people, you know, like white, you know, when white people say, "Stay away from them niggas," you know, and they go to the niggas and have babies. So this what the Nigerian kids do. The Nigerian kids in that population of the 90s growing up, you know, to the, you know, the millennials pretty much. A lot of them, what they end up doing is they imitated our culture, and they didn't imitate the power to the people side. They imitated the drugs, the hoes, the block. They wanted to bleed the block. A homeboy of mine was like, "Man, I couldn't wait to come to America so I could hang on the block with a 40 and smoke a cigarette." I said, "What, nigga?" He like hang on a block, and he come from a Zulu tribe. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this in the knowledge, and then when you get real close to them, they say, "Well, we different than y'all because our family taught us we kings and queens." But then why you imitating the culture? It was one of them backwards things. And then I had partners of mine who died, Nigerians who died from that gang imitating life. Wasn't even in the streets, got pistol whipped, beat up, so much going on. So yes, I can totally relate to you, Dr. Clyde.
Yeah. You know, like Create So Far wrote, he said, "Goddamn, doctor, when his life as a young adult sounds like a movie. The Black Indiana Jones from history to fighting to get in with the ladies, he's a bad mother. You had to understand that it was a time. Remember. You got to remember that we only got really, in a sense, any real rights after Martin Luther King got assassinated and they burned up the west side of Chicago. We didn't do too much burning on the south side. But the thing is, this is that after we did that. But I mean, back in the day when I was a teenager, you could not walk down the street without the police stopping you, saying, get up against the car, and then searching you. You know, always searching you and shit. You know, and so that's why we
harassment.
Yeah, it was harassment. But see, that's why we could identify with Frantz Fanon. When Frantz Fanon talked about Algeria and colonialism and how they were a police state. Chicago used to be a police state, man. It was a police state because the fact that until the 60s, until the riots, every police car in Chicago used to carry a shotgun until the riots. A couple of niggas took the shotguns and shot their ass. So they stopped having rifles in the police cars.
Well, speaking of Chicago, I don't mean to hit a sore spot. You see that on that bottom right there?
Yes.
Okay. Shout out to Demetra K for bringing us this
on not cooperating with ICE or Tom Homan, who is the new border czar that has been appointed by Trump. Now, Tom made a statement saying that all the migrants that are here illegally got to go back. Right now, some people are saying, well, they have families. They'll be, separated from their families. And he was like, great, they can go with them if that's how they feel. Right. But nevertheless, Brandon Johnson has made it known that Chicago is a sanctuary city where they welcome in migrants and they take care of them. And we've seen them do that throughout the last 4 years when Biden and Kamala opened up those borders and allowed any and everybody to come on in here. Right. They have taken care of them and they have made Black Chicagoans especially really mad to the tune of almost flipping Chicago red because that's what they vowed to do. But nevertheless, this is the sentiment of Mayor Brandon Johnson and his deputy mayor. We are not able to cooperate with ICE to assist in mass deportation. Our mayor has made very clear that he will not.
That's the mayor. That's a black face in a high place, you guys.
But you got to understand is that was you had to understand what the deal was. Now, but you got to remember that they have knocked the stuff off, but it came out during the pandemic that they were getting billions of dollars to feed the immigrants, to house the immigrants. Oh boy, in Chicago, they stole so much damn money. This was under the former mayor. I forgot what's her name. Anyway,
Lightfoot.
Yeah, Lightfoot, who said she had the biggest dick in Chicago, and she was just because you're a lesbian, you didn't have a penis. But the thing is, this is that. So they was making cash money off these people. See, they made it look like that they were being humanitarian. It wasn't about no humanitarianism. It wasn't about no sanctuary city. It was about cash money.
Cash money.
Cash money, baby. Cash money. It was only about the cash money in a sense. They could have cared less about them damn those Latinos, those whatever. Because see, remember in a sense, it all started with when they had to bring the Ukrainians over. So they brought the Ukrainians over. And then when they brought the Ukrainians, it became in a sense kind of a cottage industry. Like my first job in Chicago was in a sense, passing out literature from Mayor Daley to get elected. Yes, because Chicago was about electing people. It was about criminals. I was taught at an early age. You try to watch and see who people are having sex with, so you could hold that against them. That's Chicago, baby. But anyway, what was this that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, definitely. You brought up Uncle Lightfoot, right? Who has the biggest thing in Chicago, right?
That's what she said. Maybe it was she talking about clitoris, but I don't know.
Maybe. Today I happened across this post from Victor X, and I have to read it because I know it's a little small. but he says, honestly, there are no real masculine men left in America anymore. They have all turned into weak pussies, and I smashed them all. That's why it's now time to restore masculinity in America. But wait a minute, this is Victor Karlstrom, a Swede with asylum where in America. Did this idiot just say that the country he fled to doesn't have any masculine men? Because I'm sorry, did he flee somewhere and then have something to say? Because it just was giving Lightfoot has the biggest schlong in Chicago, and I don't know that you have a dog in that fight at all. How are you taking asylum here and have anything to say about the men here? And I don't give a shit that Victor looks like this. I don't care that he's white. I don't care about the racial divide when it comes to some common sense things. And common sense would say that you don't flee anywhere and say anything about those people because, God damn it, you should go back home. Go back to those masculine people that you. Oh shit! Did you flee? Because I think you fled.
But you got to understand. It's just like I look at ABC News, and ABC News whenever they're bringing up anything that an FBA person has done, every time they bring up a sister or a brother that's FBA, they always had to bring up that in addition to the book he wrote, in addition to the article he wrote, in addition to his play, that he's gay. And we see what we see in a sense what Francis Welsing was talking about. Their whole objective is to feminize black men in a sense, so that to make black women masculine, so that we won't have babies. Gay people don't have babies, and so the objective is to destroy the production of children. The production of children, you see that's why you would be, Eve, you're public enemy number one, because you had more than one child. My wife, she would have been public enemy number 1A, because we had 6 children. And they, I mean, yeah, I'll admit, because the fact, in the sense that my kids didn't really wasn't so much in the so-called ghetto. They didn't have enough babies. I'll admit, my sons. I said, please don't be a baby daddy, because I said, no, I did. I said, please don't be a baby daddy, because I would like to be able to see.
That's just my baby daddy.
But we got one son that said, fuck you, I'm gonna be a baby daddy, and he made 3. But I love him to death, and I love him. And hopefully they can hold down the fort. But the thing is, this is that I felt, in the sense, is that I felt that you should legitimize it. You should be there. I told my sons, you should be there for your woman. That's what I love about Yoshi and his wife. Yoshi wasn't working for a while. His wife picked his ass up, said, bring your ass over here, nigga, gave him a hug and said, you just wait. I'm gonna hold down the fort, and then you just get back in there and keep on fighting. And see, this is the way it is. Eve, I hope you've been the same. Is that the thing is because, see, that's why I tell people a white woman or a white man cannot love you. They can't love you because the fact is that they're afraid of you. And because they're afraid of you, because the fact, in the sense that they can have an economic relationship with you, and look at most of the people married to white people, usually that black person, a man or woman, is making more money than their husband, or wife. You see, they're taking care of those people, and I see nothing wrong with that. But don't be get on a video, sister, and talk about the black man ain't no good when your white man who you're with, he's not working, he don't have a job, and you're supporting him. You're supporting him. You see, no matter what they say about that tennis player and her husband. She's supporting his ass. He ain't got no damn millions. Get the hell out of here.
That's true.
She's supporting him. And I think there was somebody who did a study and they found that just about all the black men or black women that married to Europeans were supporting. The white person was not the provider.
That's strange, but it all makes sense when you understand CAIDS. And then you actually have given me an additional thought on CAIDS when we say that, you can't receive love or really give. It's not mutual when it comes to an interracial relationship. I would argue that a person with CAIDS and not accepting the trauma of it all probably also can't love you the right way. They are probably essentially acting as a white person in black skin, like think Get Out type of thing. And then from there, you can see that, well, if the black family is the move and they've twisted reality so that the black woman thinks that she can do bad all by herself, and she can do bad all by herself, right? But it's not so bad, having to accept responsibility or accountability, sharing, the liability of it all. I think that's a little bit more powerful than, just being, I'm strong, black woman. I mean, I am strong, I'm not saying I'm not. I am saying that it's a lot easier working the system when it's not just me. But it does take, some vulnerability, right? But then again, remember, 80% of divorces are initiated by the woman, and not that black families have more divorce than any other family. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that in our families, because that's who I can.
It's because
they done told us we can do it on our own or go somewhere else.
But it's because the fact is that by around when you've been married to a woman for about 10 years, after a while she starts saying, "What am I doing? I'm just going off what I observed in my wife. What am I doing? Why am I here? Who the hell is that?" And you're saying to yourself, "Damn, I'm still that guy that you met 20 years ago." But in her mind, she's saying, I don't think I know you. I don't think I know you. And the thing is, this is that it's a time when you have to really communicate with each other so you can move forward. Yeah. Because see, a lot of times, in a sense, they be thinking that something is wrong. What are you doing here? And you can be having good sex. It don't matter if you're having good sex or bad sex. But if you're having good sex, it might take a little longer. But they still it
might make it worse because, for 23 and a half hours of the day, nothing's making sense. And then, you might get, your little one-off and it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. And then you get out of bed and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on?
That's why you never tell your woman about the bills. Never talk the bills with your woman. The minute that your woman has to help you pay the bills, if both of y'all work, then she's gonna start pocket watching you, and then she's gonna always be upset. You're not gonna have any good sex. Did you pay the bills? Are the bills paid, honey? Damn. I was taking money to pay Peter, and then sometimes paying Paul, and sometimes paying neither one of them. But once she find out, it's that pressure. It's that pressure in the sense, and so it's very delicate. See, a lot of black men, they've been conditioned by the white man to think that our women aren't soft. They've been conditioned to think that our women don't have any feelings. They've been conditioned to think that we should be really hard on our women, and that our women are like men, that they're too strong. No, our women are soft. Our women do like to be hugged. Our women do like to be appreciated. Our women do like to be given inspiration. Our women do like to be given motivation. Our women do not want to stand in front of you. They do not want to walk in front of you. They want to walk behind you. But because of the fact that, in a sense, some of us want to take the easy road, then that's what they do. You see, that's what they do. My father taught me what I should do. I try to teach my kids, my sons, what they should do. It's up to them to pay attention to it. Maybe I failed. Maybe I failed. Maybe I didn't, but I understand that it's that one. It's your child, Lee. It's your child, Yoshi. It's that one. It's that one. Okay, you got more than one child, but it's each one is an individual, and each one of them is the one that's going to set the world on fire. Each one of them is the one that's going to, in a sense, make or break the Black race. So you had to teach your kids to love themselves, and you had to show through your example that you respect Black people so that they can respect Black people too, and that they will be motivated to try to pick us up and move forward. See, but you had to teach your children that. You had to teach them to believe in themselves, and a lot of times we don't teach our kids to believe in themselves. Sometimes we handicap them because we don't let them know that, hey, they can be successful and they will be successful.
That makes me think of, do you have the video that you made that talks about your class?
Let me see.
Because you guys, Dr. Winters has a class on Tuesdays, and I don't know if you're too late for this semester or not, but in this class, he's teaching people how to do research. And while you might think that you know how to do research, or that you have the degrees, or you've got the education to do the things, most people are not reading books like at all. I mean, even when you have time to read books, a lot of y'all are audio booking it. I like paper. I like the tangible aspect of turning a page. So I can't do the ebook. I mean, I might flip through a couple pages on my tablet or whatever, but I like paper. That's just my preference. And then I know a lot of people don't even have the time to sit down and read a book. But if you do have the time to sit down, then maybe you've joined us for one of our shows, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
But the thing is, this is that it's a 15-week course, and the thing is, this is that I was trying not. I wasn't gonna really teach it, but then the sister died. I'm taking the class. I said, well, we really don't. Then she took it, and then you joined it. And so the thing is, this is that because it's 15 weeks and it's intensive. But see, I love the fact that the people who took my class are producing good work. Sister Shanice wrote about 3 books. She's working on another book now. Some of the other people, they're writing. They've written articles and stuff like that. And so it's
I took the class. I loved it.
Yeah, it's very heartwarming. It's very heartwarming. Yeah, and
very good.
This is that, but Yoshi took the class, but Yoshi is a genius. So don't.
That was a tight class, man. I enjoyed it.
He's a genius.
The people you meet in the class. See, here's the thing. Yeah. Eve, when you take it, you're gonna meet
already
like-minded people.
Already in the
connection.
First 2 minutes of being in the class, I got probably a huge gem that I wasn't even expecting to get, and it was like, wait a minute, I need to take notes. I'm not even ready. But no, you guys, it's not about, well, I already have the schooling, so I don't need this class. It's more about the fact that what are you doing with the information that you've already learned? And I know y'all are having thoughts about things. And if you're not doing anything with these thoughts, then you're just as bad as anybody whining about things. And y'all know, if you tune into my show, I don't like the complaining aspect. I don't like the whiners, especially when there are things to be done. So if you don't know where to get started, or you don't know how to start, you could go to his class and get that. And if you know where to start, but maybe you're a little rough around the edges on where to go, scholarly articles and academic research, because Wikipedia is not it. I don't care that they've made it mainstream. I don't give a shit. Wikipedia is not where you go to for scholarly research. You go to a damn library, Google Scholar if you got to. you rent a book from another library because they will transfer it to your library. Did you know, like, they got a whole service where the libraries work together? And as much as they want us to think that libraries are going out of style, they're not. Not if I have any hands on it, because there's people like me who still like turning the page, and there's going to need to be database places for your genealogical records and your people. Who was here in this town before the line changed and turned into this town. You get that at the library.
But you know what I found is that when I was a teacher, I taught research at Government State for 11 and a half years. But my research class is that after you take that, you're going to be able to write articles and books, because you're going to be able to focus your ideas. You're going to be able, in a sense, to send your ideas. And see, it's one thing to have an idea, but it's another thing to be able to know how to work with that idea and give that idea flesh. And see, that's what I love about my the class that I teach. Yeah, some people in the sense that took the class, I wanted them to push it further, but they still enjoyed the class. We still talk, we still communicate, but I felt maybe I was doing something wrong, that maybe I wasn't giving them the inspiration. But then I always look at Shanice and a couple other people. These they have been pushing this forward, and that's wonderful. So join my class. We meet every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Afrocentric Research Course.
You will learn how to interpret anthropological, historical, legal, genetic, and other forms of research literature. This is 30 hours of learning how to do qualitative and quantitative research methods. The course begins on April 16th. The class will be taught every Tuesday for 15 weeks. Join Dr. Winters' research class. Afrocentric Research Course. Become a researcher.
Yeah, it's not in April. We began a couple of weeks ago, and it's exciting. And the thing is that I like the fact is that we do have some time for discussion. We do kind of, in a sense, try to make sure that we share some ideas, because the most important thing is to help people to be able to take their ideas and then present them to the world. Because see, you can dominate, just like it's like quiet as it's kept. Yoshimod, he's dominating. He's dominating that MI. He's dominating all of that stuff, because yes, he's the only brother doing it, but he's taking those skills and he's showing that they can be applied to our history, culture, and civilization. See?
Appreciate that, man. Good looking out. Know what I'm talking about? I really appreciate that. So y'all go check out that class. Know what I'm saying? Get into it. Appreciate it, Doc.
Look, is that the audio? Are you doing that with the OBS? Because man, you just making me want to I need an all-nighter. I'm OBS all night one of these nights, and I'm trying to get this to make every time you got the applause track.
He's going old school, making you think about. I forgot the name of the brother used to always
Barry White.
Yeah, Barry White. So he's taking us back
from
to Barry
Galveston.
White.
Yeah.
Yes,
From
sir.
Galveston. There you go. Right here. That little keyboard. That little thing right here doing all the little work.
Well, hey, you got to have the equipment,
Yeah.
But again, it's very exciting, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy in the sense that we do have people like Yoshimod. We do have people like Eve, because see, the thing that make Yoshimod is that he's very creative. The thing about Eve is that Eve asks the questions that nobody else asks.
Oh, yeah.
Eve asks the questions in the sense that people want to ask but don't know how to verbalize it. You see, and so that's why we need creative people. But see, we need creative people who are not afraid. But so many people have CAIDS, culturally acquired immune identity syndrome, and because of the fact, in the sense that they suffer from this debilitating disease, they lose their consciousness. You know, that's why that's why some people in a sense may marry a white person. Everybody with kids don't have to be married to a white person. Some people can lose their identity because they be afraid. You know, when people get in high places, when people get in high places and they really get around the white folks who run this country, and they see how scared these white folks are of FBA, and they finally see that we're seen as the majority in this country. You see, this is the whole point, is that people say, aha, how can we be the majority when we all stuck in Houston and we're stuck in Chicago? Just because you're stuck in an area, you know, just because there's 10 people living in your apartment or 5 people instead of 2. You know, I'll never forget one of my son's girlfriends, you know, because most of my sons are 6 foot and taller. All except my oldest son, you know, he's the short one, but he'll kick your ass. Please don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. But the thing is this, is that, you know, one day she said, how did all those tall boys live in your house? I said, they were little. They're grown now. They're grown now. They went to college, and then they went to the Navy, and then they came back, and then they stayed with their grandma for a while, or they went and got their own apartments and things like that. They didn't just keep staying with me. So, you know, and so this is the most important thing. But the thing I like about Yoshi, the thing I like about Eve, is that these are young people who believe in themselves, young people who have been in a sense touched by Cades, but have found ways to fight the debilitating aspects of Cades. They didn't give up. A lot of people give up. A lot of people once they catch Cades, once they had to acknowledge that Cades exists, they give up. They give up on themselves. They give up on them people.
That's true.
And see, that's what I love about these 2 individuals, is that these are creative individuals that you're not going to keep down. See, you're not going to keep down. They'll be quiet, and they'll come in the room and nobody even notice they asked. And that's good. That's right. That's good, because they won't notice them.
The knowledge.
They don't know that these are some powerful brother, sister. You know, they don't know that these are people in the sense of influencing minds. And see, just because they might say my videos get 200 views, I know they get more than that. You see, but the point is this, is that who cares? You see, they got to do this. I mean, you know, my stuff is real. It's not like I like to listen to Tariq Nasheed, but they know Tariq Nasheed is an entertainer. They know Tariq Nasheed can only talk about stuff in a sense that he heard. But see, I can talk about stuff that I've done, and I can help you to do the work too. See, that's what makes it so dangerous. I can help you learn how to do the work too. Here's the whole point. Eve, who's been hiding that book, after she finishes the class, she's gonna go ahead and
that's right.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
Let the book out that she's been hiding.
Yes.
And then she's gonna write about 5 others. Because see, the thing is this, is that's what it's all about. It's all about sharing knowledge. And the only way we can share knowledge is to learn how to be good researchers.
Afrocentric Research Course.
You will learn how to interpret anthropological, historical, legal, genetic, and other forms of research literature. This is 30 hours of learning how to do qualitative and quantitative research methods. The course begins on April 16th. The class will be taught every Tuesday for 15 weeks. Join Dr. Winters' research class. Afrocentric Research Course. Become a researcher.
That's right. Go to Gumroad, sign up for the research class. And the thing is this, is that you're going to get a lot out of this class, and you're not going to just learn, you know, things about our people and about who and what you are, but you're going to learn how to take that and then take those ideas you got and produce them and make other people understand this stuff, you know.
That's right, because there's a City College in New York or used to be in New York or something like that. Churned out a bunch of people that are Pan-Africanists, right? And then what I found is that it's this, maybe not everybody who went to City College, but a lot of the very loud ones who say that, you know, they've done the research and that they are the scholar, they have the PhD, and we have to do it their way or it's not going to work. And then you've got juxtapose that with Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who was not a professor, not a PhD, and he wasn't saying do it my way as much as, hey, I got a way. And you know, if everybody just kind of worried about themselves and kind of kept everything, you know, together and didn't go out of their way to harm others, then, you know, we really could be in that idealistic society that Joe Biden tried to tell everybody existed 6 years ago. I mean, he straight said that there's no more racism. Look at all the interracial relationships we've got out here. And I'm like, well, damn, if there's no more racism, why can't I go get a loan with the credit score that I have, but you can get here yesterday and have chopped up some bodies, you know, nobody knows you didn't get your bill of clean health from the popo like the legal ones have to, you know, you just happen to get over here, you're afraid to go back. And that's a very real fear. So I get it. Some of y'all asylum seekers know how to work the tears when it matters. But, you know, are you afraid to go back because you are a bad person? You know, there's Mexicans right now in Mexico saying don't send them back because crime rates have gone down since all of the criminals are over there.
Yeah.
But see, people don't understand is that if you are an immigrant, you gangster. You're an immigrant. If you're an immigrant, you're gangster. Because if you're an immigrant, even when my parents and other people, when they moved from Mississippi to Chicago, they said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make it. And a lot of people ended up joining crime families, especially when the early people that came to Chicago, because the only people who could get jobs were the women. The women could be domestic. A lot of times the men had to find other ways in a sense to make a living. That's why as a black man, the number one word in my vocabulary is, how do I make a hustle? How do I make a hustle? My father, he did construction work, but that's all he talked about is we got to find a way to make a hustle to make some money, you see. And the thing is this, hopefully it wouldn't be, criminal. Go ahead, Eve.
No, that's right.
It's just hustle is hours. And then you've got it all the way back to chattel slavery. And, you know, we're still using what we've known and how to make things make sense, even though we're in chains. And then I find that you've done a lot of research and have found a lot of evidence of us being around in very big way, in a way where maybe because we're not impeding on your invasion, you know, you wouldn't necessarily worry about us. You know, if we're in an area that you can't quite access because mosquitoes, caiman, alligator, crocodile, you know, just the fact that the environment's not friendly to people who look like you or come from places that you come from, you know, we can use the environment. We know the nooks and the crannies. You can't tell me that a person from a foreign land can come to a foreign land and then work the land like the person who has been there, was born on the land, knows the land. It's very strange what they've tried to get us to accept. And then here you are, just the little engine that could, just essentially you were supposed to just continue to circle around the mountain, and maybe people get on at the stop or maybe they don't. But, you're just going to circle around the mountain and then eventually, well, then you're going to die. And lucky for us, you came across Yoshi, came across me, and, well, not just us. People like Tariq saw that the people were not going to let it go. If you ask people a question and then we have the cojones to finally have one answer, consistently, like you're gonna have to fold. And that's an example that I like about us. When we are consistent about what we want, people fold. You can't
because
fit.
a lot of people don't know that it was the public that made Tariq put me in American Maroon. The public. They would get on this show, they would get in a chat and they would say, Tariq, you got to put Dr. Winters in American Maroon, because he knows about our aboriginal existence. And see, this is something that is very important, is that for so long our researchers like Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, they refuse to show our aboriginal origins, because we are aboriginal. We're the indigenous people of this country. And that's one of the reasons why it's kind of hard for us, to make ourselves, not situate ourselves in America, because people be saying, well, go back to Africa. We have no relationship with Africa for over 700 to 10,000 years. We have no relations with Africa because we've been here. By the time they made the Constitution in 1776, we was already here. We'd already decided we were. But the only problem is that they took all the white Blackfeet, they took them to Canada, and now people act like Blackfeet don't exist. You would not imagine, Eve, how many people. Well, you was in my class last night. You can't imagine how many people are trying to prove that they're Blackfeet when Wikipedia and when the Google say the only Blackfeet live in Canada, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
I talked to AI about reparations. I don't know if y'all did.
What did it say?
What did it say?
Y'all haven't did it yet?
No, I have. I came across the understanding that even AI gets it. But then when you get to asking, well, how should we go about it? Everything that we're doing right now is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So then you ask AI, well, why hasn't it happened yet? And they say things like, well, to put it bluntly, sabotage. There's people who don't like you out here and they don't want you to get it. And unfortunately, they're in positions of power right now. And I was like, damn. And this is, Yoshi, look, this is how genius y'all's show was on Sunday. This was my conversation with AI before y'all's conversation live. And it's always going to get back to, no, they don't fuck with y'all. Like, not the long way, not the short way, not the hard way, not the soft way. They don't like you. And the faster y'all get it, the faster y'all can stop asking me. Because goddamn it, I done told you, and I told him in Houston, and I told him in Chicago, and no, we don't like y'all. But damn, you're making me learn things, and I have to say foundational Black American now because I can't just label people whatever I want to because I've been taught something else. Goddamn, I didn't even mean to be learning this stuff.
So a lot of AI, as we know, a lot of the competition is with China and America and UK. So a lot of the technology is evolved around these big major players. So with that said, AI is being taught a lot of this technology through the coding. And then when I went and did further research on AI, on coding, on facial recognition and things of that nature, kind of find out that Kenya has a lot to do with it. So they're using cheap labor in Kenya from college students. There's a mass population of IT technicians that is out in Kenya that has a high education but no work. And what they do is they target these people, go down there and pay them not good money to do the work, but even less pennies on a dollar to do the work. So I went and asked AI, I said, AI, how come the world haven't incorporated you into getting our reparations? If they're asking all the tough questions in the world of AI, like what can you do? And is there aliens on the moon? Is there shit in the ocean? Do my ass stink tomorrow? Can you guess it for me, AI? So you getting all these ridiculous stuff these folks want to find out, but no one is asking questions that actually matter. And I asked the question, and this is the breakdown on it. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Calculating and implementing reparations, as well as why AI hasn't yet been widely used for this specific policy issue. 1. Breaking down reparations. 1. Identify the harm. Reparations aren't just about slavery, but also Jim Crow segregation, discriminatory housing policies, redlining, and ongoing systemic inequalities. Each era of harm, slavery versus post-emancipation, might be measured differently. 2. Determine who qualifies. A central question is whether reparations go to all Black Americans or specifically to descendants of those enslaved in the U.S. This requires genealogical work and historical records, which can be incomplete or destroyed. 3. Decide on the form of reparations. Direct cash payments. Some advocate a lump sum or annual payments. Institutional investments. Funding historically Black colleges, universities, homeownership grants, or community development programs. Policy protections, stronger hate crime laws, enforcement against racial discrimination, legal protections similar to those for other groups. 4. Establish a funding mechanism, government budget allocations, tax adjustments, or bonds. Some proposals suggest corporate contributions, especially from companies that profited historically from slavery. 5. Calculate the dollar amount. Different economists have tried to quantify the wealth generated by enslaved labor, e.g., hours worked, compounded interest over centuries. Estimates vary widely, from the hundreds of billions to the trillions of dollars. 2. Why haven't governments used AI for this yet? 1. Policy versus data problem. Reparations aren't just a math question. They involve moral, political, and legal decisions. Even if AI can process huge data sets, the final choice is a societal and governmental one. Politicians often move slowly on controversial issues, and forming a consensus is harder than crunching numbers. 2. Incomplete or complex data. AI needs reliable data sets, genealogical records, economic records, etc. Many historical records are missing, damaged, or not digitized. Determining eligibility and the exact cost is complicated by centuries of migration, mixed ancestry, and incomplete documentation. 3. Lack of political will. There hasn't been a strong enough push in Congress or other legislative bodies to say, we're commissioning an AI study to figure out the exact cost of reparations. Even if an AI study were done, it wouldn't automatically lead to implementation without broad political support. 3. Would reparations end racism? 1. Addressing the wealth gap. A well-designed reparations program could help close the racial wealth gap, giving Black communities greater economic power and stability. Economic empowerment might reduce some racist attitudes based on stereotypes about poverty, but racism isn't solely economic. It's also cultural, psychological, and institutional. 2. Legal protections. Strengthening hate crime laws and strictly enforcing them against groups like the KKK is another part of the puzzle. Reparations alone won't solve hate-based violence unless laws and policing are reformed. 3. Social perceptions. Even if reparations are paid, it doesn't guarantee an immediate shift in cultural mindsets. Deep-seated prejudices often persist despite legal or financial changes. However, the symbolic acknowledgement of historic wrongs can be a powerful step toward reconciliation. 4. Global context. 1. Other groups have received reparations or protections. For example, Japanese Americans interned during World War II received reparations in the 1980s. Some Native American tribes have land settlements or other forms of compensation, though still widely considered inadequate. Hate crime laws have expanded to protect various groups, including Asian Americans and the LGBTQ+ community. Yet racial violence against Black people still persists at alarming rates. 2. International claims. Caribbean nations, CARICOM, have called for reparations from European countries for slavery's legacy. The complexity of transatlantic slavery, involving multiple European powers and colonies, makes a single global reparations package very difficult. In short, AI could help model the economic aspects of reparations, like calculating damages, projecting costs, or identifying beneficiaries, but it cannot resolve the moral, legal, and political debates. True reparations might include direct compensation, community investments, and stronger civil rights protections, all of which require legislation, funding, and sustained enforcement. While reparations alone might not instantly end racism, they could be a major step in rectifying historical injustices and setting the stage for more equitable treatment under the law.
You know, those are issues that are very important, and I'm quite. I want to. That I mean, you've worked it out. You know, you've been able to do some good research, and you've made Jim and I really talk about some issues that I think are key, and I think they're well founded.
Sorry,
and I think
I'm having issues
makes
right
it
now.
very interesting. You know.
Thank you.
That's for sure. Because look, I know y'all are tired of them, but this one last point before I stop sharing stuff.
We'll listen. Those who will not listen. And let me let the sister go because I seen you raise your hand. I'm gonna shut up, sis.
She did. Go ahead, Queen.
So the difference between FBA and American Freemen is we have legislation. They're not political. You've never seen them do anything political. And then more recently, we found by the meeting that we were invited to with the Pan Africans, it was ADOS that invited us to the meeting. It was the leader here in Massachusetts. And we were shocked to find out that they don't believe in lineage-based reparations anymore. And that was a key sign. So that's how we judge people by their actions, not necessarily their words. Tariq Nasheed and FBA has not put out any legislation. And then the legislation that ADOS wants to put out is non-lineage based.
The legislation that ADOS is trying to put out is not lineage based. So I'm sorry. This is, when people, while I agree with the thought that you can identify however you want, they know who we are, to the tune of they know that there's people who are not alive anymore collecting security. They know that they're just passing around this green card and these green tickets and these cash money to people who are not supposed to be here with the hope that we'll never actually get it together. Yeah. Some of these terms that people are identifying as, I think, are and have been co-opted if they weren't initially founded as a co-op itself. From there, that FBA is not a group, and us identifying it with a lineage, I think, is probably the strongest move that we could do as a people who don't have a country. They keep telling us that we don't have a home. You Akatas, y'all are homeless stray dogs. And okay, well, damn, if we're homeless stray dogs, then why are y'all fleeing over here? Okay, fleas like strays. Fine. But
they're fleas. They're fleas. That's why they're fleeing. They're fleas. Mm-hmm. Fleas are parasites. They're parasites. Mm-hmm. They hear they're bloodsuckers. They're hearing
they on the wolves.
They on the coons, right? The fleas get the coons, and then the coons try to get us, and then we all got caves because we're not focused on what we need to be focused on. And it's these dirty people that people have decided to lay up with. This transmission of disease is not just disease. It's it's a lot of
because let's look at it. Back in the day, you find that the average brother who used to marry a white woman, they didn't live long. That's why you see all these half white children today. Most of their fathers are dead. But they're still with their white mamas, and that's why they mixed up. But the thing is, as I said, and I hate to have to say this, is that a white man cannot love you. He cannot love you, because even though some people remember our first thing, I used to say love is a state of mind. You said love is a state of being. Whatever it is, that's something in a sense that is an illusion when it comes to a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman. Those things can just not exist. They cannot exist. They're anti-theoretical because of the fact, in the sense that these people have been taught to hate you. They see you as a piece of shit. So how can they really love you? But they can marry you, and as long as you got some money, it's good.
There's a lady that had caves, and her name is Tina Turner, and Tina Turner said it best. What's love got to do with it?
Got
What
that right.
love gotta do? Sometimes a broken heart can mess with that emotion, and these people with cage ain't going for the sake of love. Have most of the time. Remember how we talked about it earlier? It's the black woman or whatever that's holding them down, holding the white man up or
Yeah.
whatever. So it a lot of times it ain't about the love. It's color struck, and that's all because of cage.
Because I never forget when I was a kid, a lot of sisters say, I'm going to get me a Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And, the Puerto Ricans live way on the north side. You on the south side. You ain't going to get no Puerto Rican. Well, I'm going to get one day, Clyde. No. And you didn't get one either. So now they don't have to get the fake. They don't have to get the fake Latino or the fake Latina. Now they can go straight to the European, and that's why so many people are suffering. That's why so many brothers are dying young. Because see, we need somebody to do a study. But to me, I think if you keep living around those people, a lot of times, in a sense, the offspring may be okay. But I think if you're a man, if you're a black man, I think that they kill your ass somehow. Maybe I don't know how, but so many of them. Look at all these Mariah Carey, all these have kids. Their daddies are dead, and their daddies died young. I don't know if it was from stress or from those women. I don't understand. I just know in the senses that things work in a mysterious way, and melanin can't protect you from everything. I'll put it like that. Can't protect you from cage.
Can't protect you from everything, but it can definitely help cleanse the palate, right? I think that when we talked yesterday in class, and we talked about how the sun has healing properties, right? For some people, it also has debilitating properties for others. And then from there, well, maybe we're not supposed to be here. All of these obstacles are ways for us to self-destruct. And well, still we rise. We are the underdog that nobody's written about, really, because our story's not done yet. All I know is that everywhere around the planet, their story is done for the most part. We can talk North Sentinel Island if y'all want to or not, but I'm talking about in the modern civilized world, there's only one group of blacks who haven't stopped fighting. And it matters because all of these other blacks from these great cultures and stories are not on their land. They're not named what they used to be named, and they don't give a shit because they're over here with us, talking to us in English about how we ain't shit, how we need to do better. And I'm like, where did you learn that from? Do you have no home training? I mean, when we go to home, you might bring a gift. You don't just go to the cookout and have your to-go plate, as much as you might have a to-go plate, but you participated in the sharing of food. You weren't just there with your hand out. Y'all people who come with Tupperware and you didn't bring not a soda or a napkin, that's very strange to me.
Yeah.
There's also people who walk around their house with outside shoes, and they get in their bed with outside clothes. And I'm just like, who raised you people? Oh, you aren't even from here. So not just that who raised you, but just the practices are different. Mm-hmm. There's one YouTube channel, and they spoof and joke about being African. And the entire channel is they're African in Africa, joking about the fact that white people have stereotypically classified them as bush people. So then they'll say something like, or they'll throw a comment up like, do you guys sleep in houses? And she's like, no, we sleep in trees. Or do y'all have internet? And she's like, no, we put our phones under the sun, to get the power. And all of this is happening, and I'm looking at the ground and it's dirt. I'm looking at the walls and it's dirt. And then this same putting shit on her walls because it keeps it cool inside. And we got AC. Shout out to the foundational Black American who helped us get there, goddamn. Because putting shit on walls is very economical. It's very green if you're using the whole cow. But I'm not putting shit on my walls just to keep it cooler in here. I mean, and that's what we did.
That's what banned the University of Illinois from when I was there. That we got banned in a sense from staying in hotels because some of the white students did that on the walls.
Oh, you like the student? Yeah, look, I don't know what that is.
After that, they wouldn't let us stay in the unions and stuff. They wouldn't let us stay in the university unions. We had to stay in motels because they didn't trust us. But they were some nasty people. I didn't do it.
Now I remember in the public school that I was working, there was like a good 2 months where they could not catch this person. And there was a student going in the stalls and smearing shit on the walls.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't catch him. And I'm like, how do you not catch boo-boo fingers? Like, he got to be coming out the bathroom looking like he did something. But, come to find out, it's this white student who has special needs. And they blame it on the special needs. And I'm like, no, maybe somebody needs to do a home check. Maybe something's not right at home because you don't get to school for 7 months. And then now you just decide to start smearing shit on the bathroom stall.
Here's something that I'm tired of. Crazy Bar says, the YouTuber Cassidy Campbell, he has a whole routine where he acts like a wigger. But don't let one of us dress up and act like one of their funky Ice Age ancestors. We get banned. I'm so tired. The Ice Age people have nothing to do with white people. The Ice Age people, the Neanderthal people, they were, in a sense, they were black. Like you, black like me.
Black.
The white people who came out of the caves, the Caucasians that came out of the caves, they used to be black, and that's why they hate us. They hate us because we still black, and they de-evolved. In other words, they lost their melanin. Now their melanin does not go into their skin, it goes into their hair. Because of the insane things they did in the caves, they are an insane people. They're crazy, and they hurt each other, and they hate their bodies. They hate their bodies because they feel their bodies are not authentic. They're not authentic. That's why they had to do all type of crazy things, and why they're in the misogynists and all that type of stuff. But see, that's not my fault. Please, Caucasians, that's not our fault. We didn't make you stay in the cave. Your ass got scared and didn't come out.
Right.
And it wasn't because of no dinosaurs. Stop that.
No, we're no dinosaurs. Y'all got trapped. It froze from below up. It didn't freeze like your normal winter freeze that we all see will freeze the air and freeze the trees and all that other stuff, and you will see it being froze. But during this time when they got caught up, it froze from the ground up. And as they got trapped, that was it. It was already building cliff. It was closing them in. And the caves didn't open. The caves were closed until the Santorini earthquake. After that, volcano that opened up the caves and they came out. Then over time, they had to. I've shown pictures in my book. I've shown pictures in my book of how they looked. They didn't look like they look today. They kept trying to find some sisters, brothers, raping them, and then after a while, in a sense, they began to get a more human-like look. They were kind of hooked up, baby. They was messed up.
That's why George Washington had, human
wood teeth. Yeah, the human teeth. Yeah, slave teeth. Yeah, slave. They told us it was wood in school, but we grew up to learn that was his slave teeth. That's effed up.
That's terrible, ain't it?
Effed up cover up. It's like they could have left that out the history altogether about his teeth. We're gonna give them wooden teeth. Then when y'all find out later, that was some nigga. Yeah. Good one for y'all. But the tunnel system that they had was crazy. They had the tunnels. Y'all don't believe the tunnel system that these people built. It expand from one end to the another. Like they was really underground
from London, from Britain all the way to the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah,
these caves were connected. They were connected, and They lived underground, and this came out
Yeah.
a few years ago with this German, he did some research into it.
Create a movie from the book. Just don't forget to give thanks to the author of the book. Thanks.
Get that book if you want to know where white people came from.
Man, I put out my bell and everything. Yeah. Said I was in that.
I was too.
You made it. You made it, so I guess you would be into it. Family. This is all the subject. You are in the presence, family, of a genius, and that is Yoshimar.
Three geniuses.
Look at that. There's his Cash App. Send him some money. Cash App him right now. $10, $5, $20, $30, $1,000. Ladies, tonight, tell your man that if he don't Cash App Yoshimar any money, he's not gonna have any pleasure over the next couple of days. Have a protest. Have a protest. They can send some cash to Damashe, $sign Damashe. Yoshimar.
I mean, look, the Democrats said that they wasn't giving no nookie because you didn't go and support Kamala cookies. But I say that that's insanity. And then to the people who, it's so funny how you can take the right message and use it for the wrong reason, because people right now, we voted for the couch. Nice, comfy couch right here. And Clyde sitting on his nice, comfy couch. Yoshi in his nice solo seat that's very comfortable. We voted for ourselves. And now you've got people saying, oh, you voted for Trump? And ICE is coming for you? Oh, don't call me. You didn't show up to the polls when I needed you. So don't expect me to show up, when ICE is looking for you. And I'm very confused by the sentiment, but I'm like, yeah, let's go more of this, because the wrong.
They've been telling us how smart they were, how good they were. How they're the greatest thing since fried chicken.
But they found out we're the nine ether.
That's right. But see, now they running in the malls and don't want to come and shop in the bodegas down in New York. I feel for you. But please send me some Church's chicken.
What?
Damn well, that didn't have nothing to do with the conversation.
I'm about to say.
That's what I mean. I don't care if you're being sent back.
Send me the name of that documentary. I want to know about that, about them living underground.
Karen, could you put that in the chat?
Yeah, please. I sit there and watch that. I want to know how they lived and all that coming from them, because Keenan Booker, he broke it down and it was disgusting, but they had an era in their time. I don't know what queen they had, but they had a funky era where they was all dying of the plague and stuff. They were just effed up. But you got to understand, 90% of these people the people that's in charge here came from them, of the funkiness, of the not bathing, of the just not getting it right, using effed up medication. They used to get dead rats, and squash it and put vinegar in it or some, or some, and then rub it on their teeth when they had teeth pain. It was stupid stuff the cradle grave, the grave robbers. It was so much dirtiness that was going on, and the grave robbers, they told them to stop doing it there to their own kind, and then they went to Egypt and start doing it to us. All right, then you got to understand, in Egypt they was grinding, and that times they was grinding up the Egypt bones. It was a delicacy to eat the bones and use it and put it on their face and stuff. Like you was upper class if you was pale and looked dead and was dirty, and if the funky your breath was, it was like, man, that motherfucker got some good cheese over there. I want that hot cheese, man. So it was the funkiness of them all, with the rat infestation, the dirty wines that they had, the funky foods. Even still today, the British are eating like they in Cold War. And if you are not Jamaican descent, you are not eating good at all. You eating horrible. You're dying. It's sick. Damn shit. Brooklyn is too, shit with the rats. Man, we got it bad.
Like the tunnels, it's the tunnels for me, because it's history is sounding very familiar. Y'all remember the tunnels that they found in New York on the synagogue, right?
Oh yeah, that those Orthodox Jews were cutting on building under New York, yeah.
And they tried to act like they hadn't been used, right? But then when you look at this, it's like, wait a minute, some of that stuff just came out last year. That stuff came out 2 years ago. How long have y'all been using these caves and tunnels and systems? And
okay. Thank you for that. Elon Musk, if you have a Tesla, they have underground passages to where your car can go under that'll lead to certain places in the city that the actual Tesla will lead to. Elon Musk have exposed plenty of times on TV where there's underground facilities where they're working underground. He actually want to move all of his people underground because he's convinced that's the safest place to be when it comes to hurricanes, natural disasters, and earthquakes. So it is a proven study that if you want to like escape from an earthquake or whatnot, if you go in the basement, you'll be safer than anything. If you go underground or anywhere, you're safer. And we've seen that in Twister, we've seen that with Hurricane, everything underground. But we also know the end of the world, the bunkers, that's where they build everything underground. But we don't like it.
We know, but we better know what happened to the last niggas that went underground. I'm not going.
We don't, us as black, we the sun people. We don't do the underground. The darkest we get to is when we close our eyes and talk to Amma. And when we leave from here, even then we go to the dark. We don't want to go to that light stuff. I don't want to.
Amen.
Give me the darkness. I embrace the darkness all day. So it as above, so below. So in the flesh, I'm all light. When I'm asleep, I'm all dark, and that's where I creep in and I do what I do as a Sandman, however you feel. But that is what Elon Musk he's trying to do. He's already infested with the nanobites, and it ain't doing a good job with them. He has communication with ETs. He's talking to them. He already infiltrated the system. He upgraded the White House system and infiltrated it with his nanobites. So he got his little AI bits all up in the government system. We don't know how this is going to go. He's trying to knock down, if you understand what I'm saying, he's trying to knock down AI. He wants an AI wife. All he does is want to impregnate everything over the world, and he want to move it. It sounds like some kind of species, some weird ant species, want to build a nest on the ground and build a hive. Yeah, that's what a hive. That's what it sounds like to me, and I don't like it. We ain't cutting for it, but that's my observation. That's what I seen. Y'all weird.
But the thing is, this is that the only problem with Europeans is that they don't understand that it's entities. It's entities that don't like us because we're on the surface. There's entities that don't like us, And because they don't like us, they always find some Europeans. They always find some Europeans who think they're smart, and they always have them destroy their civilization. No white civilization has lasted more than 200 years.
Right.
After 200 years, it goes into a period of decline. It goes to a period when they don't want to have children. So naturally, when they don't want to have children, then that means in a sense that, they begin to turn towards people of their own gender. And so then this is, and this is what the European does. But the point is this, is that we have to fight that. We have to save our children. We have to prepare our children for the coming upheaval by allowing them to know that they had to believe in themselves. See, after this past election, Black people really upset the apple cart. We upset the apple cart because in 2024, when we sat on the couch, this upset the European because they didn't have us to front. They don't have it, and so now they want to go to war, man. They want to go to war. They want to go into a violent conflict, but we didn't choose a side. And since we didn't choose a side, they don't know what's going on. They're discombobulated. They're discombobulated because they're saying, how do we fight when we don't have those Negroes to be the ones be the cannon fodder, to be the foot soldiers, And we're just saying, if y'all want to fight, fight.
Go fight, right? Just leave us out of it.
Yeah, leave us out of
it.
And
it's
the reminder of Black Wall Street and the 20s for me. And Dr. Wonders, you're an old man, but you're not that old. And since I know you weren't there either, and you're just having the same memory as me, they were able to do all of these bad things and flood our towns. I say flood because it's not just flooding, it's burnings and bombings and running us out of and sequestering us in and withholding resources and supplies. And all of these bad things happened when they left us alone. You let them niggas off the chains. Fine. We didn't want to, but fine. And then, well, where'd them niggas go? Let's go check on them. And
they always got to find us.
They
can't live by themselves. They always want to find us. They're like roaches, You can clean the roaches out of your house, but all it takes is for one person to come to your house and have one roach, and that's it.
Just like a goddamn flea. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was teaching in 6th grade. And I'll never forget this girl. She brought some roaches, and they tried to take over the classroom. And the kids wanted to beat her up, but she was a nice girl, but she just wasn't clean, and she would bring food in her bag, and and the roaches would just crawl out. But the thing is, this is that it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, because see, some people, in a sense, they don't understand the consequences of their behavior, and they don't understand how Cage can have such a debilitating impact on us,
And some people don't understand the consequences of being dirty and how that rubs off on people, and vacuuming your carpet, sweeping your goddamn kitchen, cleaning your bathtub. Don't just close your toilet because it looks nasty and it gives an odor. Wash that motherfucker. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do. Fold your clothes. It just feels good sometimes.
Stop telling me to fold my clothes. I'm gonna get to them one of these.
It feels good. Fold them clothes, Eve. God dang it. Teach them kids how to fold them clothes. Look at my TikTok video. I got a technique. Fold them towels, man. Fold them towels. Involve the children. Don't let the kids, if they under 11, wash the dishes. Go behind them, because little kid, look, crumbs and stuff. You'll be like, you're doing a good job. You're doing it. Then you go behind them. You like, this little motherfucker.
You got all sorts of
the hell is it?
So the bottom of it.
Yeah, be careful and monitor stuff. And cleanliness is next to godliness. I didn't hung around with too many people. That the reason why I say this, I hung around too many Nigerians and too many nice people who did magic, who taught me magic, the dark magic, our magic. And it always be something, a crusty foot funky long toenails, weird stuff, and it's like, dude, you know all this stuff, and you ain't your hygiene ain't what's up, man. Wash the bottom of your feet. Many of them. Clean your house if you got an altar there. I mean, have the altar looking nice. It don't have to look nasty. You ain't gotta, just because you're putting food out there and the food is getting old, don't mean you gotta have your funky sock next to it and it's green. Don't mean you gotta have your old blunt guts all on the ground. You don't have to live like this. My
Right.
African people, you be having all this damn money, man. I have been around so many African people. I have seen them buy clothes, don't wash them, buy brand new clothes. Go to Burlington Coat Factory with Timberland boots, walk out with brand new and swap because they got a little minor scratch. I have seen this stuff, so don't fool it with me. Don't play with me. I get in your nice cars and it's dirty on the inside. It looked like goddamn Bebe's house. Man, what the hell, man? There's no reason, but your kings and your queens and your luxury make it make sense. You smell good, but you look, you get close to you're nasty. Stop that, everybody. Clean up. If right now after this show, if you got something that stink in your kitchen in your house, clean that shit real quick.
Definitely at least do that. Come on.
Listen, take some advice, Sam.
Clothes, but they all clean, goddamn.
I love y'all. I had to say that because it bothers me when I get close to people, man, and we get to learning all this magic stuff, and then I find out you're dirty, and I'm like,
math ain't math, and look when
ain't
you find out that the math.
You know, Eve, I heard some white folks saying the math ain't math, and I said, damn. I said, hell, Eve, you influencing people, you influencing them other people too. It shows they listen to us. It shows they listen to us.
Look, they like you showed in the chat, John. You right about that. Like they better find us if they want to still be here. You know, they need us to survive, but it shouldn't be parasitic. You know, we shouldn't have to go through the us not existing so that you can exist for a little while. That doesn't make any sense. Like if we've always been here and then you find a way to get here, fine. Or we've devolved, some of us devolved, fine, whatever. At the end of the day, if we're supposed to still be here, then it can't be because y'all are fucking things into what's the word? Extinction, you know, or using the resources to depletion, and then saying that, you know, it's safer for us underground when there's no evidence that shows that us blocking ourselves off from the sun doesn't do anything but bad things. You know, it's so strange that we've picked up a lot of bad math, except for the fact that it was on purpose. You know, when people accept the fact that things work how they're supposed to, and that we're crazy for trying to make things just, balanced, equitable, reciprocal, you know, that's when things don't make sense. You know, you want people to be nice because you were nice, but maybe you were taught that you treat people how you want to be treated. And that's really wrong, because you should treat people how they've earned treatment. You know, treat people how they should be treated. And maybe you'd say, oh, Eve, that's real controlling. That's real high and mighty of you to tell someone how they should be treated. No, I think people show you every day how they should be treated. And then we go out of our way to say, oh, the humanity. Oh, but they do this sometimes. And, you know, they do that sometimes. And, well, I don't want them to call me out on my shit. So let me just be quiet about their shit. And no, if we're going to hold people, especially ourselves, to higher standards, then it should be equitable. You know, everybody should be held to the same standard because we all know better. And if you don't know better, then you shouldn't be in control of things. Like, can't be both ways. Can't that math ain't mathin', but we can make it math. Put the people who are supposed to be in charge. And since
Let's,
that's
uh,
never
let's-
going to happen, we're going to have to take it.
Let's make that our goal. But I think right now it's very important that we help our children to prepare for the upcoming changes that's going to take place, so that they don't lose hope. They don't lose hope because see, it's getting very dark out there. These people, in a sense, they don't know what to do. You know, look at some of the stuff that they're doing. You know, movies. A lot of times, movies predict what white people want to do.
But they not doing it no more, Doc. They not even making no good movies. I can't predict their next moves. You right about that.
You got to go backwards
Yeah.
because it's not
10
new.
years.
It's
Yeah,
already been
Yeah.
there, you know, and because they're not making new, it's not gonna be in something new. It's gonna be something they've already said. At least it's my thought.
It's a catch up.
That theory.
Yeah, but they lost. They lost the ability to go into the space age. You know, like the Jetsons and all that type of stuff.
Yes.
They lost
They
that
don't have
because
their nigga in the closet no more.
Elon trying to do that stuff, man. But he like I said before, he trying to lay with the robots. He ain't trying to do what the Jetsons trying to do, have a robot as the
Nigga in
maid
the
and have a
closet
wife.
Is a white African. Like how Sway? Your nigga in the closet's got to have melanin first off.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's start there. If your nigga in the closet doesn't want to be the African that they told everybody that they were, then maybe you will not be able to see into the future anymore. You know,
He really trying.
those things.
We need to tap into Sophia Stewart more often.
I would
than
love
ever.
to get that happen, get that going.
You got all the pulls, Eve. You just Eve.
She,
God damn it.
that's right. You the mother. You the mother. You can get it
Yeah,
done.
you could do anything. Just summon it and make it happen. Bring her here.
Look, the fact that you've said this, and I've been saying this in my head, I think I might have said it publicly once. A Dr. Winters and Sophia Stewart show would be fantastic.
It will be lit.
It would be incredible. So yeah, we might need to try to make that happen. Just because it's unexpected, and I know you're not supposed to talk so much, Eve. You done told them now they're gonna make it not happen. No, man.
But it could be good, but it's only one problem. We could be together, but it has to be people asking the right questions so we can give the correct answers. See,
Then
a lot of
Eve, what you talking about? Eve is the one that asked the questions.
oh, you
What
got
are you
that
saying?
right. You got
Oh,
that
you
right.
got the superhero right here. The superhero is right here. She is in full uniform right now. She the one who said, I will be the host of that show and ask y'all the right questions. Yoshi, put the music behind it and let's get it going.
I'm ready. I'm ready whenever. If you can make that happen, Eve, I'm ready to participate.
We gonna have to make it do what it do because I find that the mother of the Matrix, it's stories that people don't know have been stolen and popularized to the tune of y'all say she's a conspiracy theorist, but in real time we are watching the age of the machine and we're watching the Matrix and we are living in these environments.
See, but the thing is this is that they did her wrong when but see, she couldn't have never got the word out. It took white folks stealing her stuff to get the word out.
That's true.
See,
yeah.
If she would have did that, it would have been in the chitlin circuit, or it may have not even been exposed that far.
All right. A dude told me this in the hip hop game. He said, if you want to get out there, you need to get sued. I said, what you mean? He said, I mean, we're not, you trying to give up your ass? I said, nope. Or are you trying to get a loan? I said, nope. He said, your next bet, get sued. Do something that'll draw their attention, get sued, it'll put you out there, and that's how you get your publicity. And from there, so now y'all see why I did the Rod Wave songs at the Tupacs, and yeah, I'm finna go further. I'm finna go to Prince. I got a song with Prince and Michael Jackson cooking up. I got a song with James Brown. I got Bob Marley. I'm finna have fun. Billie Holiday is on the list. I love to do a song with her. I'm finna live out my childhood dreams to have fun, and we finna do this B1. So let's get sued and recognized.
B1, baby. B1.
Straight
B1.
up.
If you
I'm gonna
make
let us sue us, not them, though. You know what I'm saying? It'll go to us, not them. I'm not doing no song with Elvis. Come on now.
Yoshi, if you made a song with Michael Jackson's real voice talking about going fishing, I would buy that album like probably 100
Michael
different times.
Jackson going fishing.
You're gonna have to check that out.
Send me the link. You be seeing Eve has a different wave with her views. I don't know what she did with her algorithm, but hers is different. She see things that don't come across my feed. It don't come across any man. I don't know who feed is coming across, but she gets videos before they're viral and be like, "Yeah, this is viral. Yoshi, check this out." And then she'll put it out. Oh yeah, that was 20,000 hits. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was viral. I got another one though. You want to check it out? And I'm like, what? You so calm. What is wrong? So she has tricks. Eve has tricks up her sleeve. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that to you. I wish I found it for right now. Because Michael, Rolling Stone has a whole beef, with Michael, and I don't understand other than maybe he banged somebody's mom at some time.
It could have been. Yeah.
Like I really think that it's like a sexual beef, because there's no way that you're going to continue to put out hit piece after hit piece about this one man who's not even here anymore. He's not here anymore. He can't even fight this, but his influence was so tremendous that even they're trying to whitewash him. You've got white people saying you can't do that.
Can't do it.
You can't do it.
He been here since a kid, man. That boy was a little black boy on the stage.
His music is magical. His music is mystical, and it was power in those songs. That's why they had to kill him. It was power in those songs, And the thing is that even up to this day, they still have a great influence, and people are afraid of him, and even though they killed him, and they try to suppress, you can go and find all these Dusties. If you notice, all the Dusty channels, they rarely play Michael Jackson music. They rarely play his songs on Dusty channels, because see, the thing is that his stuff has a hauntiness to it. And it has, in a sense, a spiritual. It's spiritual. It's like prayers, and they know this, and they want, in a sense, make sure that this stuff isn't really played up.
Hey Doc, I know you got Create So Far been following you for some time now. I think you know that
I
he's
don't
famous.
see his work though. He got good work.
Whoever it is, they're famous. And they ain't messing with me. They ain't reaching out. We gonna have to find out who this Create So Far is, man. Whoever that person is got pull. Talking about they got friends who collaborated with Prince. Who got friends collaborated with Prince or Michael Jackson, y'all? Y'all tell me. I don't. Even in
this voice, I would talk to Prince and Michael. You did?
Yeah, but remember, he said he lived across from the studio.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
And since he lived across from the studio, and therefore, in a sense, I mean, it was just like me when I was growing up on 47th Street. I learned Arabic by going to Cottage Grove. We lived on Evans. By going to Cottage Grove, seeing the Moors. The Moor scientists used to have a temple over there. That's how I picked up Arabic and other little stuff. Because when you're a kid and you be around the older guys, they teach you stuff. But see, I'm not going to tell a lie. I got my PhD. From Wineheads. Yes, because Wineheads taught me the way the world works, man. Wineheads taught me how to communicate. Wineheads taught me where we coming from and where we going. Don't ever think that Wineheads are dumb. Listen to them, and they can teach you things. They can keep you from maybe fucking up your life.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And while this isn't a winehead moment, it is they didn't like Mike because he wasn't a little boy, right? Oh, look at that one right there. Did you?
I mean, I seen that. I'm a fan of Mike, so I have seen that, and I mean, Mike, like, you know, he had Cades. Mike like that. Mike like
No,
them
it's
milk
not about the
titties, too,
Cades.
man.
It's about the fact that he wasn't into little boys.
Nah,
He
not at
liked
all. No,
women,
Mike
right?
went
And
into nothing like that. That was them doing all that. Nah, to believe that to believe Mike was into them kids, you ain't heard Michael Jackson album. And all right, here, put it like this: listen to the songs Michael Jackson write versus the songs that other people write for him, and then check this out. Also analyze the fact that Michael only will sing songs that he will feel. So he say, I don't sing stuff that I don't like. Like it, I gotta feel it. If I feel it, then I sing to it. But if I don't feel it, I'm not gonna do it. He wasn't just your regular entertainer. He had limits, and that's what he was teaching Janet Jackson when she was growing up, that you put barriers behind this, because if you allow these people to take advantage, they will strip you naked and put you on camera. They would do that. You are not alone, and yeah, and you would be out naked on camera singing for a little pasty chick, and Elvis Presley daughter on some weirdness. So it can happen like that. So he lets you know the limitations on how far to go on the entertainment business, because he was born into it. So I really cut for that. And thank you, Mike, because man, you did a lot for us. You showed us the limits on how far we can take it. Just like with Prince. Prince showed us the limits too. Michael was born into it. He was singing as a kid. Prince couldn't compete with that. Prince had to play all the instruments in order to be a Prince. You dig what I'm saying? So he came out like, well, shit, I wasn't singing like that as a child on camera like that, but I know I got this talent. I could play all these instruments, dance like a motherfucker. So, and I'm actually light skinned. This nigga changing his nose and he cutting it. So Prince and him had that fight on that, but even like what Dr. Clyde said, and I like that they can relate to each other in a sense. You don't see the relation, but Prince and Dr. Clyde said something the same thing. Prince sung it and said, "My only competition is buried in the past." And that's something what Dr. Clyde Winter said with me in one of our discussions. He said his only competition is buried in the past. There ain't nobody competing, ain't nobody to debunk, ain't nobody to say nothing but that one dude on Wiki, if he is still living. Yeah, that's the only one. But yeah, I shade to that, man. I shade to Prince, I shade to Michael Jackson, I shade to all of the great singers and entertainers who have came before us to use their gift and their talent to step in the door as entertainment. Then once they got in, they was able to shed their light.
But just think about this, that it's some white guy hate me so much that he started Rational Wiki. Rational Wiki, it has nobody else is discussed on Rational Wiki but me.
That dude don't like you, man.
You know, and but the thing is this, that you know, I sometimes I picture this white guy. He's probably around 4'6", weigh probably 99 pounds, you know, and wear glasses and shit. That's how I picture him. He might be different, but this is how I picture this person. But just to spend your whole life trying to hate on a black man, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's the energy. So y'all see what Dr. Clyde Winters did. He used that negative energy, and because energy can't be faded or it can't die out, what he did was he transmuted that energy and said, man, I eat that shit up. That shit right there. I mean, he's doing all that, to little old me. Oh
Yeah.
man, and he dedicated his whole life. He had to go through so much compute. This is before AI. He had to learn coding and get into coding and put everything together and make sure this run and ask for donations and beg people to keep the site up and have the site to still run
Yeah.
based off of little old me. That is some, come on, man. All publicity is good publicity. It don't matter, man. Just get the message out there if you have a good heart, you know.
But trying to get people to know the truth is very hard because see, the thing is that people love a lie. They love a lie. People love a lie. And I learned that when I was a kid, when I used to get on the L train and try to get telephone numbers. You know, because back in my day, when you was a teenager, you wanted to have a nice little black book with telephone numbers in it. So, you know, I mean, you know, yeah, and I mean, hey, and I know those girls, some of them probably still waiting for a call. I'm gonna call you next week.
Blow the dust off of it, huh?
Yeah, they said that was a smooth brother, you know. But I mean, hey, that's why if you notice, you know, brothers are very intelligent. Brothers never quit a girl. See, only a fool will quit a girl. Say I quit you, because then she'll be thinking negative and she'll fuck up your life. What you do is you just stop calling. Yeah, you know, you just slowly move away so that she can't focus on you, because if you quit them, boy, you're gonna have a rough life. That's why so many baby daddies don't never accomplish anything in life, because they're not taking care of their kids. And there's a woman somewhere, and her kids are always thinking about you being a piece of shit. So that's why it's always best to try to take care of your families. That's why I try to teach my sons. Try to take care of your family. Try not to be, in a sense, you know, having these babies out of wedlock. Marry your woman, you know, so that your kids won't be bastards. Even though it's not even my wife, she used to say, "Damn, shut up, Clyde. I'm gonna start a bastards club." She said, "My daddy was a hoe." Well, he couldn't help himself. My father, he was a Virgo. Her father and my father were Virgos. Women just throw themselves at Virgos. I don't know why. You know,
Virgo Nation.
They run it, baby.
That music playing in the background when they come across a Virgo. I don't know. It makes all the stops.
But anyway, we've been on here a long time. Then and now, Eve, you want to summarize then and now?
Well, then, you know, we used to not be able to take credit because it was not proper. Now, I think it's improper to let anybody take credit for anything that they didn't do. How about we allow people to earn the respect? And when we have people like you here now, we should show their appreciation here and now. So, you know, in my description, there's Dr. Clyde's links, you know, that his class, his Cash App, his Patreon. Do something, you know, show people who know more than you that it matters, because, well, without them, you wouldn't know as much as you've been able to learn. So I just wanted to shout you out tonight, you know, for this reality check. I'm glad Yoshi was able to join us, because, well, from back then to right now, goddammit, we're going to get this thing going, and it's going to happen in your lifetime. I'm claiming that. Your lifetime. You said it, I'm claiming it. So, and
we're gonna get our reparations too.
That's right.
And I'm not talking about an apology.
That's right.
We're gonna get some tangibles. And when I'm talking about tangibles, I'm talking about tangibles from a female perspective. That means I'm gonna get some cash money.
No, that's right. Hey, yo, today is February 26th, right? The Blue Rhythmic Storm. Okay, so we're looking at the Zocan calendar right now, and we are in the Blue Rhythmic Storm year. And today, right now, is the Solar Seal 14, the Wizard. All right, so your daily affirmation for today is: I endure in order to enchant, transcending receptivity. with the sealed of output of timeless, with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of endless. Okay, so y'all check that out and y'all tap into it. That's your Zokin. I guess you're calling for the day. Y'all chant that 3 times and look up into it. That is from the Zokin calendar. And I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. Thank you, Just Eve. Thank you, Dr. Clyde Winner. And I'm Yoshi. Appreciate y'all, man. This was beautiful. Love everybody.
That's for sure.
Right,
Thank
it.
you.
Take care. Our identity and our culture as Black foundational Americans. Yes, yes. Wars between Black Indians and whites were manufactured to produce Black slaves for whites. The English, the French, and the Dutch provided the Native Americans with guns, rum, and cheap goods to purchase Native American Indian slaves. Between 1670 and 1720, many Black Native Americans were enslaved. The Black Native Americans were sold into slavery throughout the 13 colonies, Mississippi Valley, Canada, and the British West Indies. The majority of Black Native Americans sold into slavery by whites and Indians. Slave traders were the Choctaw, the Yamasee, and other Carolina tribes. Yes, yes. Many of these tribes like the Mandi, Mandinga, many of these tribes, we've lost their names. And their names have been lost to history because of the fact, in a sense, that when the European came, as he conquered these Black Indians, he just made them slaves. And so over time, in a sense, their nations disappeared. Over time, in a sense, their history wasn't recorded. Over time, they've even able to deny that Aboriginal Blacks even existed in America. They wanted to give our Aboriginal ancestors gifts. And the only problem with the gifts that they gave us was that often these blankets that they gave us carried smallpox. Yes, diseases. They also, in a sense, gave us another gift, rum, fire water. And this rum caused an addiction among us. And in a sense, it led to a demand for guns because it incentivized Indian slave trading. Yes, the first slaves sold in America were Indians, Black Indians, selling other Black Indians to Europeans to work on their cotton, not on their cotton plantations, their tobacco plantations, their rice plantations. Yes, yes, yes. We sold each other over here, just like in Africa, because of the fact is that we failed to understand that we are one, we are one, we are one. We should be united based upon our identity and our culture as Black foundational Americans. Yes, yes. Reparations, baby, reparations. We deserve reparations. We deserve reparations like yesterday, not just today. No, not just today. We deserve our reparations. Give us our money, baby. Cut the check.
Cut the check, Black first because it's brilliant. People talk too much. Say less, remain on code, follow the spirit. When the going gets tough, it's time for resilience. Cut the check, Black first because it's brilliant. People talk too much. Say less, remain on code, follow the spirit. When the going gets tough,
The only thing that can save you is be one, be one, be one. To fight Cage, you must stay Black first.